All right, so welcome back into another Dragon Ball Super. What? Collect all 7 Dragon Balls, huh? Okay. I guess I have to go to this? Huh. Alright, whatever. Where is it?
You always tell me not to wear this thing, Brian.
Yeah.
Here it is.
All right, we're back. What now? Okay, I have all 7. I put them together, and what? Oh, jeez. Okay. All right, we're back. So hope that you enjoyed whatever that was. I know I have been posting very much lately, and apologize for that, but I definitely wanted to make this one special and a little bit different. A big thank you to Bandai, who reached out to me, stated that I was a valued community content creator, and again, I really do appreciate that. And a couple side notes before we jump right into it. There are going to be timestamps and things like that. You can see them on the actual video page, or you can go into the description to see them as well. All of these are going to be on the official Bandai website soon enough, so don't worry about just watching the video. But I do appreciate if you do, so let's just jump into it. All right, of course, we're going to start with the common cards, and as you already know, we're going to have vanillas in pretty much every set. It just provides support for previous archetypes. Now, of course, Kid Q, and now the new Kid Q with all of the yellow skill lists, so that's going to be a big thing. There are some options as far as skill, the characters' traits in Slug's army and as well as Namekian. We haven't really seen too much for both of them, not only in tournament and as well as competitive play, but just in general. And hopefully this set and maybe even future sets will help that. Nothing too special for this. Again, the only thing special about this is that it's 1, 3, 2 instead of 1, 2, 3, but oh well. All right, next up is going to be some more yellow Gohan support. This is more specifically to the set 11 Gohan, and there's a couple things for this that I really like. One, it's a common, so it's going to be pretty, like both of these are going to be pretty accessible. And the first one is a 6-drop that does go around the new 3-drop Unison that drain, like the skill drain basically. And this one is unique. It is a 20k double strike, which is already pretty good for one yellow energy EX evolve, and that actually evolves on top of something like the card that we see on the right, which is just 1 energy, so turn 2 you can get this bad boy out. Or a yellow skillless Gohan, which I only say skillless because the vanilla skillless has the Sun Gohan Youth tag, or for any other yellow Sun Gohan Youth. And of course, the permanent says if it's removed from the battle area, it's sent to the warp. So there's not really any shenanigans that you can really do for the drop recursion to get it back, and that's probably a little bit of a balancing there. And as well as the other 6-drop that has unique in set 11 that has dual attack also has that permanent. So I guess it's kind of keeping that sort of thing going on. It is also a 0-5, which in a 6-drop was unheard of up until like set 5 or so. So that's getting really more commonplace in the last few sets, including this one. And because I only mentioned that because it does have the monster trait. So being a 0-5 that has the monster trait that in the yellow Kid Gohan leader can now draw on the awakened side when comboing. So that's really good. So yeah, overall 20k double striker. for 1 energy. It's pretty good. And then of course the 1 drop on the right side, when this card is KO, draw 1 card and then play up to 1 skillless battle card with energy cost of 1 in your drop area. So again, where you have the Higher Dragon, the one drop vanilla Higher Dragon from set 11, you can combo that and then play this. And if they want to kill your target as far as KOing, where you want to go ahead and evolve with the 6 drop, then now you have that value where you can go ahead and draw and then play out another skill list. So that's pretty good. The only downside of this is that if you pay 1 energy, you kind of don't do anything else. You have to rely on them to remove it by KO, which they can still warp, they can spin, they can do whatever. So kind of annoying on that part. And then we have an activate main once per turn. Choose up to 1 skill, well, I keep saying skill list. Choose up to 1 yellow Sun Gohan, an energy cost of 1 in your hand, or your deck or hand, play it, and then shuffle if you look through it as far as your deck. So again, the longer that it stays, the more value it gets as far as that activate main. Yeah, I think it's a little bit better to play Scions as far as the unisons, just to pay 1 and then just use its unison effect. But for this one, now you have a evolved target. Now you have more avenues to play 1-drop skillless cards, and it kind of plays into more and more of his archetype. The only downside, again, and one thing to know, if you're playing the 3-drop unison, the yellow, you're not going to be able to play this as far as the auto effect and as well as the activate main. So it's a dead card in your hand. But it is really good to combo yet again for the Awakened Leader. All right, moving on to the next couple cards, a few cards for the commons. We have some more generic yellow support. We have the Piccolo, the Krillin, and 1-drop extra card. All of them kind of really play into each other as far as rest mode stuff. So like, I'm pretty sure it's set 11 or set 6 or set 7. There's a lot of yellow cards that interacted with rest mode cards, or it switched to rest mode. So you know, there's a few things where, or should I say, a few situations where these might be okay. But I don't think they're going to see too much play. And the reason for that is that, for instance, this Piccolo is a 4-drop, the Brilliant Rogue, right? It has a 20k critical. When it attacks, you draw 1 card, which is pretty nice, and then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode and KO it. So there's a lot of situational stuff where you have to pay 4, or you can cheat it out with some of the Namekian stuff from the previous stats, as far as KOing something as far as their battle cards, it has to be in rest mode. So you have to kind of play around that. If Broly was a little bit more prevalent, you can just tap something down, play this thing, and then keep swinging and then KO it. But in this sort of format, and as well as just the card game in general, paying 4 energy is not that great for something so little. Yes, it has critical. Yes, you draw a card every time it swings, but it's not that great. So again, playing with the previous Namekian support, or hopefully in the future we have some more Namekian support, that'll be a little bit better as well. But this 2-drop Krillin going all out, I think there is something similar in the other previews. I could be wrong, but this one says add up to 1 card from your life to your hand, and then when this card attacks, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode, and it can't be switched to active mode until you're or the start of the next turn. So this is a self-awakener that also locks down something as far as their cards in general. So I would say, like, if they went turn 1 Kaba and then you went turn 2 Krillin, you swing, you take a life, they can't swing their Kaba again to take another life. I mean, that could be okay. I don't know. Plus, the auto kind of gets around the gates, so that's okay too. I think for a 2-drop 15k that helps you awaken and then potentially locks down one of their battle cards, it's not bad. But again, it's a common card. Can't really expect too much from it. So that's all I can kind of really think about for that one. As far as the 1-drop to save the Earth, this one says if your leader card is yellow, which is nice to have some generic C there, or generic options there. Choose up to choose one of your opponent's battle cards. It can't switch to active mode until or during their next charge phase, and you can't activate copies of this card during your next turn. So, cool card in general, right? And I think this is going to be super specific. So something like Sin Shenron, this is going to be really good, where you're going yellow versus yellow and you want to keep that revenge blocker tapped down. So like, let's say you swing with leader and you have critical or double strike on it or something, I don't know. Or you swing with a battle card and they revenge it, and then you play this, and now they can't switch to active mode during the next charge phase, and then they have to wait until the end of their next turn to switch to active mode, things like that. That's the only downside of as far as that goes. And maybe something like Goten's where they swing twice, and then now you can play this, and now they can't swing twice for 25k. And then you also don't have to swing at it or KO it or remove it for them to draw cards out of that. So taking away the value for that is pretty good. Those are kind of the instances that I can kind of think of, you know, preventing a 30k swing that restands, and as well as like Goten's that has 25k dual attack, 2 energy, you know, that's kind of busted, and that's something to kind of stop it. And like I said, you know, lockdown for cheap, and well, cheaper, as well as yellow Broly support. You know, that's my mindset there, but I can't really think of anything else. Always wanting to hear your guys's, or I always want to hear you guys's opinions on that. As far as the next yellow or generic yellow support, we do have kind of a fair finisher in the Son Goku Smashing Limits, in which this is a 25k triple strike for 6. And when this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode, ignoring barrier and KO it, which is pretty nice, but it has to be in rest mode. So a lot of threats or things that are important that has barrier kind of don't swing, and they don't really be in rest mode. So I wish this switched something to rest mode and then KO it. So, you know, that's something that I would like. Or ignoring barrier and then KO it. That's is a little bit better. When your opponent activates a counter skill, switches to active mode, and negates this card's skills for the duration of the turn. So basically you have a 25k triple strike that swings twice if they negate, which they're probably gonna negate in general. For 6, it doesn't do as much. Again, it's another common card, so you can't really expect a common card to be a finisher, but something on the cheaper end, maybe in draft. Obviously, this is a draft box. This is going to be really good. Bulma, the Power of Science. I said this is going to be the set 4 replacement 1-drop because you draw one as soon as it's played. The other ones, you play one, and then you have to use the Activate Main for free. This one, you do have to use the Activate Main to pitch one card and draw one. I don't really see too many archetypes or any decks that really come to mind that really makes this useful. Maybe Bulma? I don't know, because it is a 1-drop blocker that replaces itself, so that's all I can really say on that. And now we kind of move into the last common cards, which is going to be the Slug's Army support, where we have the 2-drop wings, the Gargantuan, I think that's what it says, right? Warrior. And this is a counterplay for 2. It has 2 yellow energy. Ugh, I don't know about that, but I wish it was 1 yellow energy. And if your other card is a yellow or a Slug's Army, which I think we only have 1, which is Lord Slug. When this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards or unison cards and switch to rest mode. I like this effect quite a lot. And for 2 yellow, I think any yellow leader can probably play this. And I think, you know, I have to check the rulings for this, but I'm pretty sure you can respond to a unison. So if a unison's played that has dual attack, or you're playing like peel off or something like that, you can go ahead and just place it in rest mode. But in general, I mean, for 2 energy and a 15k, it's not bad. It's really not that bad. I don't know if it's gonna see too much play in a Slug deck, but in a yellow deck, I think it could be a little bit better. Because in Slug, you kind of have to be forced, especially with this new support, you're gonna be forced to play green yellow. And yes, to an extent, I think paying 1 energy or charging a multicolor is okay. Then you have to charge another multicolor for this to be live, or else you have to charge a green, and then this is not really live turn 2. So there's a lot of trade-offs there, and you kind of have to really be careful with your building there. And then we have the Kakuja, Lord Slug Scientist. This one is a 1-drop blocker, and it has Bond, it has Gains Barrier. There's not really much there. I think this is a really good card in case you really want Bond to stick. And, you know, turn 1 you wings, that has barrier already. Turn 2 you play another, you know, Lord Slug, whatever, and then you play this for 1. Unless you, again, play an all yellow build for some reason or somehow, and then pay 1 for this, or play for 1 for wings, and then turn 2 pay 2 for these, because they do stack on top of themselves. So barrier blocker, not bad really. And then we have the Meta Matcha, the Minuscule Warrior. This one is a auto bond 2, and when this is removed from the battle area by a skill or KO'd, you play 3 meta tokens, which has 5k power, which is not very much, 0 combo cost, and then 5k combo power, which is nice. But for 3 energy, again, not really there for me. I think if this was a 2-drop, 2 specified, I can really get behind it, because you know that's basically 3 cards on the field in which you can combo with, excluding this one. Obviously it gets KO'd, but you know, and it's just a little too high cost for me. I would say like if yellow got like a baby tiny version of Ubuni, that'd be cool, but this is not it. Unfortunately not. And then we also have the uncommon card. So starting off with this is more yellow Gohan support. As you can kind of see, you know, it's a little bit organized, so hopefully this helps you out as far as what you want to see throughout the video. And as far as this goes, we have a 1-cost 5k unison Sun Gohan and a Higher Dragon new pals. And this one says during your turn, if you have a skillless battle card in play, this gains 10k power. So it's a 15k attacker on your turn, which of course for skillless Gohan, the new one, you're going to be playing skillless stuff. So I mean, that's going to be pretty easy. And then the activate main, you play up to 1 yellow battle card, energy cost of 1 from your drop area in rest mode, and negate its skills for the duration of your turn. So most of the time it's going to be, you know, vanilla cards, but things like the Higher Dragon that we just saw that you can evolve on top of that, it's going to be a good target for that. I think there's a good amount of other 1-drops, but because this is getting played in rest mode and skills negated, it's not going to be all that great to do really anything else unless you protect it for some for another reason or some other way. So I can kind of see that. It's not too bad. I don't know if this is going to be replacing the 3-drop, because I think the 3-drop does a lot more, but I would have to test this out and see if it's good. I think on paper it's kind of average, but it is also cheap, so that's nice. Now we also have Sun Gohan, the battle begins. So this one says you pay for 1, of course, and it's a 5k attacker, which you swing with it. When a card attacks, you gain 10k for the battle after you take 1 card from your life, and then you may choose 1 card from your hand and discard it. If you do, you play up to 1 skillless battle card and energy cost of 1 from your drop area. So we have the Piccolo, in which you play it, you look at the top 7, you take a life, of course, and then you play a skillless from there, skillless cost of 1. So, and then we also have this, where you can also take a life and then swing, go aggressive, and then also play something from your drop area. So again, the monster cards, the Higher Dragon is going to be super important there, where again, if you're awakened for some reason, you can combo that, or you can protect yourself on their turn. Let's say they're going 10k, 15k critical, you combo a monster card and another card, you play this for 1 the next turn, you play out a Higher Dragon, and then you swing, and then you play out the Higher Dragon. But the other cool thing about this is that it allows you to choose a card from your hand first, so you can pitch a skillless and then just play it immediately after that. So pretty cool card, and I actually really dig it. And then we also have the Yajirobe, new ally. I think other releases or other reveals have this as well for the 2 costs. Play a skillless, his energy exhaust for red yellow, and then it also says choose 1 card from your hand, discard it. When it's played, you choose 1, play up to 1 skillless battle card, energy cost of 2 or less from your drop area, and then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, switches to rest mode, and it gains 9k power for the duration of your turn. So this is a 25k attacker, right? I'm doing math right, I'm pretty sure. I do cards, not math. And then this is for 2 energy. It does quite a lot for you, I think, you know. Even if, like, let's say you protect yourself with skillless and Kid Q, like the original Kid Q, and then you have 1 for awakening, and you awaken, you play this on turn 2 if you awaken that fast, or turn 3, and then now you have another attacker, you have the awaken, you have the draw, you have everything else basically. And I think this is going to be a little bit better in Kid Q in general, not the yellow skillless Kid Q. That's just me. So yeah, some good multicolored vanilla support, which I really do like. Now we have the uncommon cards for the next sort of set of yellow generic support. We have this Lord Slug that also supports, you know, obviously the Slug's army. This one has 6 costs. It's a 6 cost deflect and unique. Also, if that common card with the Kaioken had deflect or barrier, it would be a little bit better, but oh well. So you can only have 1 if you have Bond 3, which is gonna be a little easy with all this yellow stuff going on. I'm gonna have to play test some of this stuff and see if it works. But for 6 costs and with 5 with wings, you play up to 3 Slug's army cards with different names, energy cost of 3 or less from your drop area, and play in rest mode. The effects do go off for this one, for this side of the effect. And then for the Lord Slug leader, of course, when you're awakened, you can pitch one, and you can kind of set up for this card as well. So that's really nice. And then we also have play up to 3 yellow battle cards with different names, energy costs of 2 or less from your drop area in rest mode. Skills negated, and you can't play battle cards for the rest of the turn. So they really wanted to, you know, minimize this card just a little bit, because these are all generic. You can play 3 of them for 5 energy, basically, because that's, I mean, you're going to be playing wings with this. You're not going to be playing with 6 cards. I don't think you will anyway. And, you know, and it prevents all the skills from being played. So that's really a lot of balance there. Would I play it? I would test it. I don't know if it's good, but we'll see about that. We have a 4-drop Son Goku Relentless Assault deflect, and when a card is played, choose all of your battle cards, your opponent's battle cards, and your unison cards, and switch to rest mode. So pretty cool if they have a lot of blockers. Pretty cool if they don't have much as far as, I would say, combo power. Like, you know, take away the combo power. Let's say you're playing against Vergex, you get to turn 4, you play this, all their Kais get rested, and now they don't have too much as far as combo power to protect themselves. And then this one says, once per turn, this gains 10k power and dual attack, and can't attack leader cards for the turn. So a 20k attacker, not that great. 30k attacker, dual attack, pretty cool, but not that great because of the leader card restriction. So you can't really go too hard as far as that goes. I think it's really more for removal for yellow. And just swinging into their battle cards for 30k, which most battle cards aren't really going to be comboing out or be able to handle that. So that's pretty good. Deflect is nice. These 2 cards, Lord Slug and as well as Son Goku, they're okay cards, right? I think with the Slug's Army stuff, it's probably a lot better. You can play like 3 Anguilla, and for the next turn, you can just swing with them and then rip 3 cards for 15 critical. So that's nice, but oh well. And then we also have Chi-Chi. So this is basically the generic blue gatekeeper. It's something that's going to prevent a lot of blue players or players from playing blue, I would say that 5 times fast. I would say, you know, I haven't really talked about this card, but I would say I don't like that it has barrier. Okay, so it prevents an entire archetype from playing something that makes it better as an archetype, that being blue, right? But I also like it to bring it down a level on a tournament basis for best of 3, right? So this is something that blue players will have to shift their kind of thinking as far as everything goes, just for counter skills, right? So like dimension magic and etc. Those are all going to be kind of annoying to deal with, but it won't kill off blue for sure. I think it just brings it down a notch just a little bit. I just don't like these generic answers that's available in every color, instead of just making other colors better against others. So that way it gives more incentive to play him. But that's how I kind of feel about it. Was there an issue with untapping for counters? A little bit for Baby, because it's a little annoying to deal with. But overall, that's kind of how I feel. All right, let's jump right into the rare cards. I kind of put the Anguilla in there, which is why it's a little low quality, but there you go. But this one is more Slug's Army support. The first one is a Lord Slug, 1-drop Evil Invader. When this card is played, you draw 1 card, and then activate main once per turn. You pay 1 yellow, choose up to 1 of your Slug's Army's cards, original cost of 3 or less in your hand, to play it, and then place this card in the drop area. So we've seen other cards that do this for cheap. For instance, the Vegex combo, basically the Trunks into the Vegeta promo. You pay 1, you pay 1 again, and then there you go. That's all you got to do. This is actually pretty good. Again, if you're playing Lord Slug, you're probably playing multicolor, so this is going to be seeing play on turn 2, and I think this is going to be pretty necessary to play out, for instance, this Anguilla on the right, or the older Anguilla, or Anguilla. If I say it wrong, I say it wrong, okay? But this is going to be pretty good. And then the other effect, which I don't think anybody's going to be really using, is switch one of your opponent's battle cards to rest mode after paying 1 energy, which doesn't feel great. But I use the other option here for Anguilla in order to kind of give that example as far as what you can play. And I think there's a lot of targets for Slug's Army, which includes the skill list that we have as well. The only unfortunate part is that the skill list is a 1-drop, so Oh well. And of course, the one on the right where you can successor after you play, let's say for instance, the Lord Slug, and then you play the other Anguilla, and then you pay 1 yellow to successor the Anguilla after you swing with critical 15k and rip a card, and then you swing again for double critical. Well, the second swing for critical, and then of course to activate main, choose one of your opponent's battle cards and negate its skills for the duration until the start of your next turn, which is quite nice. Which is actually quite nice. I wish it ignored barrier. That would make it a little busted, but it is nice again for blockers in which they want to prevent these critical attacks from happening. Okay, and these are all of the rare cards, or the rest of the rare cards, just to say. Whistled Medley. Wow, I can't say anything. Counterplay: the battle card is being played with 4 or less. It's played with skills negated for the duration of the turn. This is nice for a 2 cost. I think 2 cost is right around where it needs to be. You know, I think there's the second card on the right here, the Tyrannical Blow, is kind of the same thing, where it's Cold Bloodless but revisioned, right? Where, you know, Cold Bloodless was a little too powerful in a lot of different instances, even if you restrict it to one archetype. These are kind of, again, the re-envisioned Cold Bloodlesses, right? So I do like the approach for that, and for this one, ping 2 for 4 or less, I think 4 or less is a good range for 2 energy. I do like that. I wish it was played in rest mode. I think that'll make it really good. But this is kind of like above average good. And the reason why I say this is because the activate main here is that your leader card is yellow. You send this card from the drop area to the warp. You draw 1 card, right? And I say this because this is an alternative universe Draw Ape and Cold Bloodless, right? So like if Draw Ape was never made, and if it never existed, this would be it, right? This would be the alternative for it. And I think this is a good alternative in general. You only draw 1 card, but you only also pay 1 energy. So if you have multiple in the drop, you can do more, right? And that's all I can really say. That's all I can really say about that. So not bad. I really do like it for yellow. Tyrannical Blow says pay 1 counterplay. The battle card is being played at energy cost of 3 or less, is being played with the skills negated for the turn, and choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards or unisons and negate the skills for the duration of the turn. So you can take away double strike, you can take away critical, you can take away all this other stuff that doesn't have barrier, and as well as these unisons don't have barrier, so you're just gotta take that away, boy. For as far as the what am I doing? As far as dual attack or any of the skills to the turn. So let's say they swing with an unison, they champa. As I understand, for the duration of the turn, they can't get that double strike. So that's a really good thing to have. This is a really good card just for 1 energy. And also, you know, things like Broly and maybe even Goku, you know, just having this in like going first, charging 1, and then they play Goku or 1-drop Broly or whatever it may be to start their chain for the current format. You can play this, negate its skills, and then stop it, right? Take away that card advantage, take away the chain, take away whatever you want to do, and as well as get rid of some skills otherwise if you need to. So that's really good. I actually really do like these 2 cards. This 5-drop Goku is energy exhaust, of course, red, yellow, critical, triple attack, and activate main, pay 4, 1 yellow, 1 red. If you or your opponent's life is at 2 or less, which all this red stuff that's coming out is going to be helpful for this, play this card from your hand. So 4-drop, critical, triple attack. And then when this card is played, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, negate its skills for the return, and it gains negative 25k. Not bad. So the only bad thing about the auto is that it doesn't ignore barrier. Even if I'm pretty sure it doesn't get around barrier because you have to still choose it. So there you go. I could be wrong on that. Let me know in the comments below. So yeah, no deflect, no barrier. Kind of put this on the lower end of average for 4 costs. So you really have to play around Frieza. You have to play around Trunks. You have to play around anything else that negates skills. That's all I can really say about that. Not a bad card though. Not a bad card. And all this, what you guys been waiting for is the super rares. We don't have too many. A couple of these we've already seen. The Higher Dragon, Kind Friend, as well as Slug. We've seen both of these. As far as the Higher Dragon, I really like it for Yellow Kid Goku. You pay 1 energy where you have 2 more energy 2 or more energy, and you play out 2 skillless battle cards and it costs 1 from your deck or drop area, which makes it really good for consistency. And you can't activate it for the rest of the turn. So on their turn, you get to play stuff for cheap, and you get the combo, and you get the draw for that for the yellow skillless Goku or Gohan. So that's really good. And then the 3-drop Lord Slug, I just like in general. It's like the Vegas card, or not the Vegas card, the Boo card, in which if it has Bond, and if you have 2 of them, that'd be pretty cool. If it's in rest mode, they can't add cards to their deck, to their hand using non-leader skills. So super combos, cards that draw 1 and you pay 1, those are all dead now until you kill this thing. With a lot of barrier removal, it's a little bit not that great, but it is something that the opponent has to deal with. Like, they have to deal with. Hand advantage and drawing cards is the name of the game for this game. So there you go. Activate main, you loot a card as yellow or a Slug's Army. You discard from this card from your hand and play up to 1 Slug's Army card, energy cost of 1 from your deck. And of course, this is going to be a staple in Slug's Army, simply because you're gonna want to play wings. There's not really much to say about this, so you're gonna have to place a play set for this bad boy. The Anguilla, the Graceful Warrior. I love this card. It's a unique 3 cost. Of course, with the other the cards that we saw, they play like for instance the 1-drop Slug that draws 1, and then you pay the yellow. You can play this card now. And with this Lord Slug, and you play the wings, is really good too. So that was a 2-drop. Bond 2, if your opponent has 4 more cards in rest mode when it attacks, your opponent chooses 2 cards in their rest mode, and then chosen cards can't be switched to active mode until the start of your next turn. And this is really cool because now that gives the option for the opponent and puts them in a really bad place. So I think this is really cool. This can be their leader card, there can be their unison, it can be their energy, it can be their battle cards. So a lot of cool things as far as that goes, and I really like this card in general. So another 3 costs, some more lockdown stuff. I just really like it in general. Now we're gonna look through the last 2 super rare cards. We have the 1-drop Super Namekian Might, in which is a counterattack. You loot a card as yellow, you negate the attack, and you choose 1 card from your hand and discard it. If you do, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards or unisons and negate the skills for the turn. So another one that negates unisons. Overall, just in general, really cool card. It has a negate, and it prevents something from attacking with double strike or critical or whatever it may be, and just prevents you from dying, I would say. Because again, if you got 2 life and you get skills, and that's the only attack for the battle card unison card, and it doesn't have barrier course, then now you don't have to really worry about chomp or any other skills, basically, right? So that's really cool. Again, if I'm wrong on those, definitely let me know as far as the ruling. And the 3 costs: King Piccolo, the Exterminator, energy cost, barrier, and offering. We haven't seen offering in a long time, but when you play it for 3, by the way, 3, choose 1 if your opponent's cards or life is 5 or more, you deal 1 damage to them, and then you choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode, ignoring barrier, and gains negative 20k for the rest of the turn. So both really powerful effects for 3. And it has barrier and it has offering, so I don't really know what to say about it. It's a 19k attacker that really helps for that burn archetype. So again, if they're at 5, you deal 1, then they have to do offering right after. So all the other burn cards that we see really help this type of archetype and is this type of card, and I think it's really good. You're probably gonna get this offering off pretty often, I would say, if that makes sense. And of course, we have the 2-drop offering cards that we had in the previous draft box, and those are pretty good too. So again, with the Super Namekian Might, we have unison and activate main negation. Those are really important. So let's say they had an activate main. I can't really think of a really good card that does have that, but let's say it gains dual attack or something like that, or you have activate main and they can pitch a card out of your hand, and that's the only card that you need. Then you can negate, pitch a card, and then prevent that from happening. And then of course the return of offering and double damage or removal. Just overall really cool, and kind of wraps it up. That's all I have for you guys. I really do appreciate everything as far as this goes from Bandai. I had a lot of fun making this video, and as well as the whole segment beforehand. And yeah, comment below what you think. Let me know if these are good cards, bad cards, average cards, if you want more from them, from yellow. If you want me to do this again, whatever it may be. So let me know in the comments below. again, thank you, Bandai, for giving me this chance. Thank you for everybody who have supported me for more than 2 years, honestly. And man, I just played. Like, this is gonna be. I mean, people who clicked out, they clicked out, right? But I just played in the webcam event, and a couple of them like the last 2 days, and it was really fun. Like I'm really warming up to them. I'm really not. I've been dropping out of them because I haven't really been taken seriously. But now I feel like I will, and I keep running into people who keep watching the videos, and it just reminds me that I really do appreciate everybody who watches the videos, takes the time to talk, to comment, to subscribe, to watch the live streams. And I really do want to thank you guys for that, because I don't think I would have got the attention from Bandai otherwise. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next one.